people on the outside be looking at it like, well, damn, bro, why y'all did him like that? Y'all tripping, bro. That man ain't even do that, bro.
Hold down, man. Suitcase this. My cell phone and my charger don't walk with a limp. Get it knocked off or missing, you gon' get it. Next time I see you ass, you gon' leave airlifted.
What's up, y'all? Y'all already know, man. Kfrogtv back in the building. Want y'all to go ahead and do me that solid favor. Hit that like and subscribe button. And make sure you hit the notification bell so you can see it first. I want to tell everybody welcome back to my channel. It's Kfrogtv. Y'all already know it is me, Kfrog. Today I'm going to be speaking on an incident that took place while I was locked up down here in the state of Florida. I like to say that very often because I don't want people to get misconfused and think the shit that I'm saying isn't accurate because they were locked up on the West Coast somewhere or they were locked up in a different state. So I make it known I'm speaking on the state of Florida. I don't know how it is anywhere else around the world because I've only been incarcerated down here in the Department of Corrections in Florida. All right, so let's go ahead and get right into this video. I appreciate y'all watching. The crazy thing about prison is you're blinded by what you think is in your best interest. The people that are closest to you can be the biggest threat there is. You'll never see it coming sometimes, whether it's you hang out with your own race, you hang out with your own kind if you were affiliated, you hang out with someone you know because y'all from the same neighborhood. No matter what it is, shit happens to people all the time, and it be happening right there to the people that's closest to them. And then the people on the outside be looking at it like, well, damn, bro, why y'all did him like that? Y'all tripping, bro. That man ain't even do that, bro. For this video, we're gonna be speaking on someone that got cut. $150. Y'all know what that is, all right? It means he got cut right here across his face or anywhere, wherever it is. $150 is what they gave him. And you know, in prison that goes down all the time. That right there is like casual. That isn't nothing like shocking, like, no, it's none of that. It's just like, oh, you heard such and such got wet. Oh, damn, look, that boy got his shit spliced. You know, it ain't really nothing that, you know, shocking because you see it all the time in prison. And the reason I wanted to drop this video on this is because, you know, people get cut, like I said, and what makes it even more crazier is sometimes people get cut for the wrong reasons. You know, you think about it like, what you mean, man? In prison, bro, anything is a reason to be on go mode and be ready to, you know what I'm saying, run up and wet someone up. Well, not always, you know what I'm saying? And when I mean by people get wet for no reason, I mean sometimes they get wet for accusations. You feel me? Wrongly convicted, or, you know, he say, she say, or a rumor, or just because what their own thoughts of that person is, they'll go wet them, and it don't even truly be like that. Well, this one here, I'm gonna be speaking on a black inmate that was locked up with me, and he got wet up by his own kind, you feel me? The blacks wet him up. And it was crazy because they didn't just like go after him and wet him. They literally like friended him, made him feel comfortable, because then that made him vulnerable, you know what I'm saying? And you know, y'all are probably like, well, I don't get it. Like, okay, so an inmate got, you know, wet up. What's the difference from that or anything anyone else talks about prison? Same story, different channel. No, this inmate actually got wet up 6 times. He got jumped and wet 6 times because he had a scar on his face already, which looked like a $150 scar, you know? And for those that don't know, you know, a $150, that scar, you know, it's a target. It means bad business. It's a marking that can be put on you to where you're targeted, you know, around the whole rest of your bid. And it doesn't mean people are going to come after you 24/7 or nothing like that. You know, it's possible, but it means that you've been marked, you've been branded, you know, and normally the reasons behind that, I'll break a couple down for you, or, you know, people that steal, they get $150 a lot. You see what I'm saying? People that, you know, been X'd out of gangs, they're no longer a gang member, their brothers will cut their face wide open. But the main reason that people do get that shit cut is for snitching, being a rat, a tattletale, a chiva. You understand? So he had that cut, and I guess, you know, the blacks thought, you know, maybe he told or something like that. And it was crazy because when he first came in the dorm or whatnot, you know, he walked in, he was a Haitian, you know, and all them were like talking to him in Creole, shaking his hand, dapping him up, being all friendly with him and stuff. And you see things like this all the time happen. You know, I seen the Chicos do it one time to one of their own kinds also, you know, when I was at Calhoun CI. Same shit happened with the Chicos. A Chico came in, he had some cuts on his face and stuff like that. And they were old wounds, and you know, they friended him, was cool with him and shit like that, and got all close to him. They were looking at his photos in his photo album, sat down next to him and all this shit, and then gave the green light for others to run up and wet him. And then literally right there, as they had his photo albums and all that, and then they cuffed the photo albums, were selling the pictures of his kids and family, you know, weird stuff like that. And, you know, the Chicos are the most loyalist ones you see, you know what I'm saying? Those are the loyalist ones that are going to rock with their kind and their color. If you're going to defend yourself and you are a Chico, they're going to rock with you. You feel me? Brown pride. They're going to rock with you. They're going to make sure it's a one-on-one or whatever it may be, you know? But I seen them do that shady shit one time also at Calhoun. Now, the way that shit went down with this individual is we were all in the dorm chilling. And it was a Saturday, you know. It was a day that, you know, we were watching college football, you know. And when sports come around, that's when everybody gets all into it. You know, it's a way to make you sweat because you're going to gamble. You're going to bet a bag of Cheetos on this game, or you're going to pay for a $2 ticket and you're going to bet on all the games for this week or whatever it may be. So he came in the dorm, you know. He was there for literally like 2 days, you know. The Chico from Calhoun, they got his ass out of there the first day. Like, he wasn't in our dorm an hour when they did the Chico at Calhoun, you feel me? But he was there for like 2 days. They were all cool with him. You know, I'm talking about like when he came in, they all greeted him and shit in Creole. They brought him food, sitting down there eating and all this stuff. And what made it crazy to me was, like I said, you know, that shit right there doesn't look good. But you never know how that person got that. And from my perspective, you know, like, I mean, like, you never know. Like, if a friend of mine was getting jumped by 2 other dudes that had a knife, you know, I'll walk up in that bitch and I'll rip some dude's face open. Or if my homeboy's getting, you know, wet up by someone else, and then that person that came with that dude is standing there, I'll walk up and rip his face wide open. Now, he's marked and looks like he's a snitch or something like that, and really he just got caught in the crossfire. You feel me? So you never know what it is why a person has a $150. But I'm going to tell y'all the reason that this dude had a $150 and everything too, you know, later on in the story, of course. So it was on a football day. Everybody's sitting there chilling. We're all just vibing. And halftime, once it was halftime, everybody clears out of the day room. They all go do what they got to do or whatever to get back in there because everybody's got their seat. You know, there's like 3-4 rows of seats. People got pillows sitting there and like, this is my spot, you know, like people know they claim them shits. You know, throughout the week, before it's even weekend, people put signs or their ID down on top of there to claim that spot, just so when the day comes, they get their spot. And I swore, boy, like I was sitting in there, and then they have the rows like this, and then they usually have a table where people play dominoes or spades or casino or tonk or whatever it is. Well, I was sitting at that table with my back leaned against the wall, you know, and I was eating me a soup. And when I looked over, I seen the dude with the $150, you know, who that had just got there, the Haitian. I seen him. He was sitting there, you know, watching TV, just minding his own business. He was in the middle of the game. They were all loud, dapping each other up and shit. 1 foot on top of the seat, you know what I'm saying? They all like, nah. They loud as hell, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Haitians out there, but you know when they talk loud. You feel me? So they was all loud and shit. And I looked over, you know, I just caught a glimpse of it at the moment because I was in the middle of eating the soup and shit and talking to the people I was vibing with. But then after that, you know, I seen to my right, like, there's a wall that splits the day room from where you watch TV. Like, picture a room with a TV and seats, and then there's a wall that comes with just a little walkway. You walk around the wall to go out into the living area. You feel me? And I seen from, like, this way, from the way I was sitting, he was over there hanging out with them. I seen from this way, you know, the other Haitians, you know, they all were clicking up, talking, and then they were, like, peeking around the corner. Like peeking, you know. So for me, I kept thinking they were just checking the score on the game, trying to see, you know, they were just go like that. And, but then they go back to talking and shit. So in my mind, I didn't think nothing of what was gonna go down, you know, literally. Like I said, I thought they were checking the score on the game. Maybe they were betting or whatever it could have been. So Halftime. Once it's halftime, everybody gets up, goes run around doing what they got to do. So me, I'm like, shit, that soup ain't filled me up. I'm finna go get me a big ass bag of pork skins. I had pork skins in my locker. I'm like, man, I'm finna go get these barbecue pork skins and I'm gonna smash the whole bag, right? So boom, when I walk, I go get my bag of chips. I go inside my locker, grab my chips. Boom. As I'm walking back, the radio man, he stops me. He's like, hey, Frog, check me out. I'm like, what up, bro? I go up to him. He like, look, bro, look what I did to your headphones, bro. I'm like, all right. I look. He put like a raw-ass jack on there, and he souped it up with like different speakers. So that bitch was all loud and shit. I said, all right, boom, bet, bro. I said, I'll give you $3 tomorrow, you feel me? He like, all right, bro, say no more. Boom, boom, boom. So that like stopped me for the second. If that wouldn't have stopped me for the second, I would have already been back in the day room. You know what I'm saying? So since that held me up, as I go to walk back towards the day room, all of a sudden you hear boom, 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 boom. You hear all this bump and all this ruckus. So you know someone is clearly fighting in the day room. And the crazy thing about this is it was a rock out session. You know, it wasn't like trying to be hidden or nothing like that. Because the way the dorms are set up is like, this was an open bay dorm at the time. So you got like an officer station, which is a square. And then you have a dorm this way and a dorm this way that he's, you know, that he's got to look this way. He's got to look that way. And then in front of him is a wall, a complete wall that splits the two dorms. And then there's a TV right there, and there's a TV right there. Those are the two day rooms. So the officer sits there in his chair like this, and he sees that day room with the TV facing him, and that day room. So when people want to walk out the day room, they got to walk by the officer's booth. You know, they're like in a fish tank. You feel me? The officers, you know, that's what it is. So for them to get in a fight right there in the day room, it was like a, you know, it was like a, bitch, we rocking out. We got them. We doing it to them. And they were jumping them. You feel me? There was literally like 7 Haitians on this one Haitian dude. You know, and I'm thinking like, oh, shit. And by them rocking out like that in front of the police, you know, you wouldn't think this ain't no initiation or nothing like that. You know, they ain't bringing them home, you know. And he was already ICN, which, you know, means Haitian. He was already a Haitian. So I'm thinking like, damn, boy, they dish-ragging him. Like the scuffle, once I walked around the wall and seen it going down, it like catches your vibe to make you see who it is. Cause like, ain't y'all all on the same team? Like, damn, how you even know what the fuck really went down? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? Y'all arguing over a football game? That's exactly what it looked like. But it was bigger than that. And so I thought it was like 3-on-3, but it was like 5 or 6 of them against one. And, you know, there's only so much he could do. He tried to rock out as much as he could. He got blessed, though, because for the majority of the situation, when he was fighting, he was in the corner and his back was against the wall. You know, and they got him on the ground. They were whooping him, stomping him, beating him up. Real decent. The officers didn't want to run in there. Another Haitian came with a knife. He walked right in. That's when the officers called for whatever they called, where all the other officers would run down there, getting ready to fucking spray people or do whatever they got to do and shit like that. And once that shit happened, you know, nobody wants to go to confinement on the house. You feel me? We call that going to jail on the humbum. So I wasn't going to jail on the humbum. This shit ain't got nothing to do with me. So once I seen the little scuffling shit going on, boom. You know what I'm saying? I got from there and went straight to where my bedding area was. Like, bitch, you ain't finna rewind these cameras and see me in there and think I had a part of this shit. Put me under investigation on the house, you know? And all of a sudden, during the scuffle, boy, we heard like a loud, it was like a roar scream. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like a scream, you know, they were tussling. It took the police forever to come in there to break the fucking fight up. But it was like a roar scream, like it hurt, you know. You could tell that shit hurt. They had him on the ground, and I guess due to his face being on the ground, it was like an echo, you know. So that shit sounded like a roar. And what it was is he got wet 6 times. The dude that went in there with the knife, the others were beating him and holding him. And I guess each time that knife went in, he made like a loud ass roar noise. You feel me? And it was like a real discreet, scary ass noise, like something you'd see or hear down a hallway in a horror movie. You feel me? Or in a video game or something, you know? It was real loud. It was like it had a roar, like, you know, like that shit, you could tell hurt whoever the fuck it was, you know? But at the time, I thought he was just still being jumped. The whole dorm did, you know? And that dude didn't have nobody in there except for the people he was hanging out with the last 2 days, which was them, you know? And come to find out, it wasn't over a football game. It was because he had a $150 scar. So since he had a $150 scar, you know, they played up under him. You know, they try to see what they can get out of him probably. And they talked about it or whatever, and then they came to an agreement. We just gonna do it to him. Maybe they got word, thought he was somebody else from another camp, or, you know, maybe he did something to one of them somewhere else, or he was once, you know, a gang member, or whatever it may be, that they had in their mind the reasons for doing it. But they took actions in their own hands, and they jumped the gun, okay? Y'all know what jump the gun means, right? That means do something early, you know, like you think you know something, or you think somebody's gonna do something and they don't, and you react first. You react with not knowing the truth and everything behind it. And come to find out, that dude got the $150 on the streets from his sister's boyfriend. Okay? This is what my whole dorm found out after the whole shit went down. His sister's boyfriend, his sister was getting beat up by her man, and he went there and defended his sister. He beat the dog shit out of the dude and something else with one of his homeboys or some shit like that. And then in the midst of it, the dude pulled out a knife or a razor and he cut the dude's face open. And he had a scar from it. So I'm like, what the fuck y'all just... In my mind, I'm like, that's crazy. Y'all wet one of your own kinds over this shit. Like, holy... Like, y'all didn't even have the facts straight. You know, he could have been like... The way y'all were rocking and vibing and chilling and shit, it looked like he truly fought with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, that boy right there could have been a soldier on y'all squad. You know, like, he probably would have, you know, rocked out for real behind y'all. And, man, y'all, and they just jumped the gun, man, and they wet that man because he already had a $150 scar. That's why I say it's real dangerous in prison, because you can get cut over anything. Something that you don't even have no business in. One of your homeboys can do some shit, and they know that's your homeboy, and they come get you. Literally, you can hang out with someone on the compound every single day or for the last 3 days. It don't matter. If that person is seen with you and they go do some dumb shit and say they get caught stabbing someone or something, they go to confinement, and whoever knows the person that got stabbed, seen you with that person before, or they hear from, oh yeah, he be with that person, next thing you know, you're a target on the house and you can get your whole mouth ripped open. Just for being you. Just because you ran into this person one time and y'all had something in common. And now y'all been talking for the next 2-3 days, but you didn't even know he was finna do what he did, and he did. And now look at you. Now you go somewhere else, people think that you snitching. People think that you're a thief. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. And it might not even be the cause. This man got wet on the house. Straight up. And it had me thrilled, because I was like, that's crazy. Because of how cool they were playing. You know, you would think for them to really do something to him, it had to be something bad. You know, literally, off rip, once that shit happened, the first thing that went around the compound was he was a snitch. The dude was a snitch. They found out he snitched on someone else in another camp, got his face ripped open, blah, 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 blah. All this different stuff that their brothers hit him at the last camp he was at because of it. So, you know, it's like, oh, okay. I guess he gets what he deserves, you know. Come to find out that ain't what it was. That was only going around the compound because the ones who did it were saying that. That's what their thoughts were. And it wasn't. You see what I'm saying? And it was crazy because all them Haitians that did that all got caught. They were all on camera. You know, I don't know if anybody caught any outside charges, because I didn't see FDLE, you know, Florida Department of Law Enforcement. I didn't see them. They usually come out there and question, or they look at the cameras themselves. We didn't see them come out there. So I don't know if anyone got charged off of it or what it was, but I know that dude's prison experience, bro, is going to be totally different. You feel me? Because he literally was cool with them, bro, and he felt like I could trust them. You know, they got the same roots as me, you know? And it's crazy because it ain't what they thought it was. What else is crazy is, check this out. I ended up getting into it with a white dude, right? I ended up getting in a fight with a white guy over this shit too. You feel me? That's like later on, but I got into it with the white dude because they were saying like racist stuff. You know, they felt like the black dude deserved it regardless because he was black. And I'm like, what, man, you tripping, bro. You know, I fought with all races, man. I don't care what color someone is, bitch. As long as you real and you 100, bro, you ain't got no skeletons in your closet, then, bitch, it don't really matter to me, man. What color you are ain't gonna fucking hurt me or make me sleep different at night. I don't care about none of that shit. I'm from down south. I'm from Florida, bro. We don't have colors down here. We don't go off colors, you know? So this one dude said some slick shit or something, bro. We was like inside the open bay bathroom. And he's like, oh, this and that, da-da-da, something about that white dude got his face ripped open like he deserved this and that. And I'm like, man, what's up with this dude, man? And he was like, oh, what, was that your homeboy? Did you know him? Did y'all grow up together? Were y'all friends? I said, man, I ain't have to know that motherfucker, bro, to know if that's the reason he got hit, bitch. It was bullshit. You know, he ain't deserve all that. He ain't deserve to get jumped and get fucking wet 6 times for a scar that he already went through getting cut. It ain't like it was a fresh cut where you could tell he came from another camp. They found out that boy this ain't even been to another camp. That he got wet on the streets from the sister's boyfriend and all that shit. And I'm like, bro, that shit's just crazy. And then he's like, oh, I like seeing the monkeys take each other out one at a time. I'm like, man, you on that racist shit, dog. I'll slap the fuck out you, man. You feel me? Oh, you ain't finna slap me. All right, that shit sound good. And then he went to call me a wigger. Like, yeah, what are you gonna do about it, wigger, huh? Started screaming real fucking loud in the open bay bathroom, so everybody heard about it. You know, everybody come in there like it's supposed to be like, it looked like we were finna fucking do a rap battle. Everybody went to surrounding us, being all loud. The officers are banging on the glass, looking like, what y'all doing in there? Like he caused the scene and shit. So I played cool. I said, it ain't nothing, you know, fuck it. It is what it is. I ain't tripping, you know. I played cool, knowing he's got like 4 or 5 other white boys in the dorm that hang out with him and shit like that. So I tell them straight up. I say, look, check this shit out. I said, I'm finna beat your homeboy's ass. I'm gonna whoop your dog's ass. Oh, my homeboy ain't a dog. Like, man, y'all on some other shit. Y'all the definition of crackers. When people call a white person a cracker, that's how they were acting, you feel me? That's the difference, bro, from not all white boys are crackers, you know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. So I said, I'm finna whoop your homeboy's ass. They're like, oh, this and that. You calling him a dog, man. They feel like you're insulting us. Next thing you know, everyone rose up in the dorm. I'm talking about all the Chicos, blacks, and the other white boys that wasn't down with their little 4 section. And they were all like, man, what y'all trying to do? Now they all scared. They don't want no problems. They just want to do what they got to do. And you know what happened? The Haitians ended up extorting them, making them break it off, made them end up paying just for saying some shit. Once they found word that I was finna fight the white dude because he said something about that shit, even though they're the ones that wet the dude, well, not the same exact ones, but it was their brothers that wet that guy, just by them saying, oh, I want the blacks to take one at a time, take each other out one at a time. Just by all that, boy, them Zoes was rocking about Frog. You feel me? And it wasn't even nothing for them to rock about. I could have whooped all 4 of them. You know what I'm saying? But I told them, you ain't getting off that easy just because they agreed to pay rent. You ain't getting off that easy. So I told him, boy, you got to tighten me up or you finna check in. And he was thinking about checking in. He didn't want to fight me. And he didn't want to get in there and grid with me. So we ended up getting in there gridding. And he didn't know how to fight. He fought with his head down, of course. I painted him. You feel me? And it was a tricky one because it was slippery inside the bathroom. It was like flooded around that time. But I beat his ass. He didn't know how to fight. You know, he just had talk game. And the other ones, they paid rent and did what they had to do. To me, it was just crazy because here I'm getting in a fight about a dude that don't even know me. I don't even know him. He's transferred somewhere else. He doesn't even know this shit's going on at the camp he just left. But it was more of the disrespect than it was the individual. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't care it was that particular person who didn't do nothing that got wet up. It could have been a white person that it happened to. It could have been a Chico. You know what I'm saying? I still would have been like, they ain't deserve all that, bro. They got more than they deserve because there wasn't a reason behind that. It was a mistake why he was hit up like that and beat up like that. You understand? It was a mistake. So by being a mistake, he didn't deserve that. You know what I'm saying? Makes sense. Y'all feel me? So it was the way he was talking and calling me a wigger and all this stuff. You know, so like that shit, well, he's lucky, dog, that I ain't decided to, you know, try to wet him up or something like that. But I was like, you know what, I'm just going to dead the issue. I'm going to just give him and show him he don't know how to fight. He going to fight with his head down, just like I fucking thought. And that was it. But next thing you know, he tried to be all friendly and shit after that. He started going around. He'd walk up. He'd be like, what's up, my brothers? Trying to be all cool, all the black people and shit like that. You feel me? People be choosing, dog. They be acting one way one day and then the next the other day. You know what I'm saying? Once they get taught a lesson, all of a sudden they see the bigger picture, you know? And like I said, to me, it was fucked up because that man ain't deserve what the fucking happened. Straight up. If anyone did anything to one of your loved ones on the street, you gonna go over there and try to dish rag them and do what you gotta do. And you could get cut behind that shit, go to prison. Someone see that cut, and now look, you're on the platter because they think you told. People get misconfused for different people all the time. You could see a white boy or a Chico or a black person, it don't matter, that looks familiar. You'll think they look familiar, and they can have a scar on their face. And then people will start saying, oh, you supposedly you wet someone up at this camp, or supposedly, yeah, we heard that at this other camp, he did this, he did that. And then you start thinking in your mind, that's where you know him from. He's the one that did that. And then y'all start putting the puzzle together and shit, and it'd be completely wrong. But y'all are like cracking the code amongst each other and building a fucking like file on this dude, a whole description that is off. And then you amp and psych yourself up to do something that ain't even accurate. And that's what happened in this situation. That's what made me want to come on here and share it with y'all. To show y'all, prison ain't the place to be. I don't care who you are, it can happen. Straight up. And it can happen when you least expect it, and it can be the people closest to you. Your own race can do it. Your own gang. You feel me? People that you grew up with. You can run into someone that you knew on the streets. And if they in a gang, and they gang's going to war, or their gang tells them to flip you or do what they want to do to you, they might be like, well, we know you're close to them, so to make sure you really rock with us, here's a knife. We want you to do it. You know? Sometimes, you know, they won't. Sometimes they'll deny, and then they get flipped. But they kept that shit 100 with the person they know on the streets. You know, like, hell nah, bro, I'm not finna flip him, bro. I knew him, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my dog from the streets, bro. I ain't finna flip him because y'all don't like him. Now, if there's a reason behind it, then you deserve to be flipped. You know? Whether I know you from the streets or not. If there's a reason behind it, you come in there and find out, boy, you was snitching, you told on such and such to get, and all that shit, bro, then I'd want to flip you myself because I knew you. I'd be like, hell yeah, bro. Bitch, I don't even need a knife, y'all boys. I got one. You see? But some people go against the grain, and they refuse, and they get flipped to keep that realness with someone they knew. They feel like, nah, he don't deserve it. Hell no. Nah. And then the gang don't want to hear that. Eat them. Do that. And people get cut all the time that didn't deserve it. You see what I'm saying? And me, I was like, damn, bro, he ain't deserve all that shit, bro. That boy got cut for having a cut. Stabbed 6 times for having a scar on his face. Just think of that. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, you literally got wet because of your looks, bro. A bitch ain't like how you look, bro, and try to take your life for it. Shit's crazy, man. Prison is not the place to be. It isn't a joke. It isn't a game. Straight up. If you young and you watching this video, man, stop while you ahead. Because like I said in past videos, you got some people that go on that road that'll do 20 to 25 years and come home with no problems. But then you also have some people that will go on that road for a year and a day and die and don't make it. Just because you made it 25, 30 years, or, you know what I'm saying? You could be in there on a 30-year sentence and you done knocked out 15. Oh, I've been in here 15, bro. That shit ain't nothing. You can die tomorrow. Or you can go in there, have 6 months left on your sentence, go up the road for a few months and get flatlined. Shit's no joke, bro. For real. But anyways, man, I'm going to wrap this video on up. Y'all drop in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what y'all think. Like, how y'all would look at it. You feel like the white dude that I ended up having to fight was right? Because I don't. We can argue about that in the comment section. But y'all feel like, is there anybody that y'all known that people mistaken, like beat up or something like that? Or when you was incarcerated, did you know of things that happened to people that it didn't mean to go to them? Like they didn't deserve what it happened to? Y'all understand me, right? But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one on up. Like I said, I appreciate y'all watching. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button on your way out if you ain't hit it on the way in. And you already know, man, I'm going to keep coming frequently with this content as much as I can. Y'all can also check me out on KFROG Gaming, my gaming channel, which y'all don't know. If y'all do, I'm about to do a giveaway. I already gave away a new Xbox that just came out. I'm about to give away a PlayStation 5 once I get like 8 more members, which is only like $5 a month. I'm going to be giving out another PlayStation. I'm going to give out a PlayStation 5, and then I'm going to give out 2 more PlayStation 5s when I hit 8K subscribers. I'm a little less than 2,000 away, and then boom, I'm excited to do this shit. I just want to say that before I wrap it up. But anyways, y'all have a good night. Y'all stay blessed. Keep them squares, rats, clowns, and snakes out your motherfucking circle. Spit on their ass, piss on their grave, all that. Y'all already know, man. Until next time, this Frog.